Here we are. Welcome back. We have made it back, thanks to the magic of editing, and we are jumping into our very first dungeon on this character. The very famous Wailing Caverns. This is probably, I think this place is very famous for its being very long. It's probably one of the longest dungeons they've ever made in this game. Even, oh god, has it even changed since the Cataclysm? I'll need to go back and find out. But this is a dungeon that very famously, there's one of the ones that has survived to be famous to this day. What does our grouping look like today? Priest, hunter, good old bear druid, a mage, a mage, and myself. And why do a dungeon? Why are dungeons a key feature of this game? Well, if you're gonna have an MMO experience, you need a multiplayer activity, and that's something that dungeons have given us, or it's given me at least. They're actually one of my favorite activities, if I'm being fairly honest. A lot of my early stories of WoW come from dungeons, and this is one of them. Obviously, they're completely different now with the ability of doing LFD and just being able to just teleport in and out of a dungeon by sheer clicks of buttons. It's completely normal now these days, and it has been normal for nearly a decade. But since we've been talking about these stories of, classic WoW, one of the key features was discovering dungeons. That was actually one of my favorite things to do. Ooh, boss. These old acting voice lines still exist. Oh no, he fell asleep. Our good old druid fell asleep. Oh, he's alive. But the idea of finding a new dungeon, I always want to find those purple portals and just be like, oh man, a dungeon. I wonder what's inside. And as a rogue, I had the great advantage of sneaking in and discovering this place. It's almost like a scout. In terms of the RPG aspect, was this idea to scout ahead. It's like, oh my goodness, I found this dungeon. What's it like? And, we find like the Wailing Caverns, or one of my famous ones was what was it? The Burning Crusade ones, Hellfire Ramparts. That one. I'm sneaking all by these red orcs. I'll show you find out when we get there. And I would just sneak ahead until I find the first boss. I'm like, oh, there's a boss. He has a name. He has a high-ranking name. And I would just dream of like, I must go in at an appropriate level. I must use zone chat and find a dungeon group to do this. Because most of the time there's a quest there. It's anti-push a lot. Oh, like people are chatting. I'm having a lot of fun with this. This group's actually very exciting. I know my chat's hidden. I know I've hid it on purpose because of I fear of some of the people I'm going to come across. They might say something, inappropriate or wrong. But what this mage is having a little bit of fun with us. He's having a little bit of fun with us, and I'm gonna be the funny guy with him, make this a good dungeon run, give you guys a good time. If anyone says something, I'll be sure to read it out, like I did with that orc quest we did earlier before we joined here, and try to put that into context of what I'm trying to retell here with these WoW stories. Because I think a lot of people like to think there's a lot of toxicity in WoW, whether it's just one person or a guild, whatever the case may be. But it really isn't. I've actually come across quite a lot of nice people. One of my first guilds were just nothing but nice people to me. And are you going to encounter toxic people? Yes, in all forms of the game. There's no single style of play where you won't find a toxic person. Is our tank new? Is tank new? I'm actually really curious because that's towards the. Our mage just linked the damage meters. Oh, this guy's got an ego, scumbag. You go down here, don't you? You're supposed to go down here. Yeah, jump down, right? This guy has to be new. We're in for an adventure audience. This guy is taking us on an adventure. Our good little furry friend here is taking us on an adventure. And oh man, what a time! What time to join? Yep, waiting. I don't want to be that guy who like pushes ahead. The tank has to be new. This guy has to be new. Is this a common thing now? Like, are people like still new to this game? Like, even 15 years later, are people still joining World of Warcraft? I'm actually really curious, like, how new this is. Oh, I kind of want to expect him just to know. Like, he's level 20. Alright, he's level 20. What is he? There's a regular Tauren. So he's doing leveling from scratch. He's down in a guild. The mage seems to have taken point here. Like, he's leading. Like, he has to be lost. Oh, he changed forms. Okay. I'm actually really curious about this guy. Sorry to hold off on the stories, but this is actually, like, the beauty of finding these stories. Is you just go on your adventures and you just don't know. You really don't know of what's going to happen when you join a dungeon of a group of random people on the internet. To me, that's what I like about the game, is that you just meet people you've never met, could be a completely different walk of life, and they leave an impact on you. Certainly, I've done that in cases. I've impacted and both been impacted by people. And you just carry that story of, like, you can be like to your friends, like, boy, I got a story for you about this guy I met in the game, and he just did the silliest thing, or he said the silliest thing, or he gave you a piece of advice. There's turtle, get the turtle, get the turtle. I have a ninja pull this guy. No, don't leave me. No, send help. Group, send help. Turtle. Turtle. Okay, he's talking aggro. Where's our tank going? I'm very curious of where he's going. Yay, we got him. Oh, I got a neck piece. My first ever neck piece. Oh, is it still personal loot? Oh. That's actually really sad, actually. Aw. Yeah, I still have to, there's no more need or greed in these dungeons? Oh, am I not looting these guys? Oh no, I'm stupid. Ah, there's plenty of them. I'll be fine. I just realized that I'm supposed to be doing a quest. Is he new? Everyone. Okay, so just to keep everybody up, because there's actually a story in developing right now. Everyone's baffled by our druid tank here. Our good old druid tank friend here. We are You're all just baffled. I think everyone here, minus this guy, has been in this dungeon before. This is amazing. Oh my god, like, until we solve this mystery of this druid, whether he's new or not, whether he's just on his own little crusade or whatever he is. He has mesmerized this group that we are all in together. Mesmerized. Oh my god. I will try to tell my story of dungeons. I do have a very fond dungeon memory. Not of this place, but a very, oh god, remembered, I should say. I don't want to put these dungeons in bad light because none of these, I don't think I've ever had like a truly bad dungeon experience in World of Warcraft. I had a few of them. I had rare of them, so this should I should bring up how I played World of Warcraft. What was my experience like growing up back in those days? So, as I mentioned before, I should reiterate that I was an undead rogue. My entire family who did play WoW were all Horde. All of us were undead, actually. Shockingly, all of us were undead. Once we all settled on a character we wanted, we all settled for undead. Either purposely or non-purposely, we were all undead. I was a rogue. My dad was a mage, just like our troll friend here, and my uncle was a warlock. And so, one dungeon we all needed to do at one point was Scarlet Monastery. And it wasn't like in the two sections that we know as today. What was it, the Mists of Pandaria remix of Scarlet Monastery? It was this four-winged, multi-dungeon monastery, and this is for a small building containing 4 dungeons. It was huge in scale, and so we did probably like one of the noobish things we probably could have all done during that time was take all 3 of us and go in. We didn't have no tank. Well, I could say I was a tank. I was the guy who held out aggro as a rogue, of all things. So I had to, got an itch. What a horrible time to have an itch. So I had to take the aggro as a rogue because I was the melee guy, while my dad was the glass cannon of mages with his pyroblasts and stuff, and he was CC. I would CC. I don't think I even used sap. I probably thought sap was a useless spell at the time. Oh my god, it's cringy, but it's funny to look back on yourself when you've played these old games. Like, wow, I was really bad, but I could do nothing but smile because it was a learning experience. Their true voice. Did he fall? Did he fall? Did our druid guy fall? Did our tank fall through the gap? I think he fell through the gap. Oh my goodness, he fell. Oh, this poor dude. I honestly might tank this. I honestly might just get a tank, like my tank spec rolling. Ah, I'm asleep. Ah, save me. Oh wait, that was a pointless ability to attack enemies with. Oh my god, but so I did Scarlet Monastery with my dad and my uncle. We 3-manned it, and it was an adventure. I don't remember if we ever completed all of the dungeons. I think my only memory I remember. What's this guy? What is this guy? I'm glad I made it back. Oh, please taunt. Thank you. He was hurting me a lot. He hurts a lot. Oh, don't hide him. But no, it was definitely a cringe for the experience, but also a learning one. And then my only experience was the cathedral part, the final one with Inquisitor Whitemane and was it Mograine at the time? I think his name was Mograine. The guy you kill, and then Whitemane comes out, and she's like, "Rise, my champion," blah. And she rests him, and I have to deal with 2 bosses. And we're like, and I remember my dad and my uncle were like, "Oh shit, we fucked up. We fucked up. I don't think we're gonna be able to do this, guys. Yeah, we'll just call it quits from here because we've been here for hours." And again, it's that learning experience that you carry on with you for the rest of your time. Whew. Good lord. Good lord, good lord, good lord. And that's kind of what I enjoy about these dungeons. That's the emphasis I'm trying to tell you guys, is that I enjoy these dungeons for these stories you get to have with other people. How have I not found any serpent bloom yet? Oh, there's one. But, and that's what I like about these MMOs, is that, you know, you're doing these things, these activities, whether they're queuable or to find people yourself. You're banding together to do these, to conquer these bosses, to conquer these adventures, for loot. Whether it's leveling loot or endgame loot, you're doing it together as a team. Whether it's voice comms or just text chat, it's what you got. Yay, I got my hides. Alright, let me get some serpent bloom, please. Thank you, friends. And that's kind of one thing I want to play for Classic WoW for. That's why I wanted to have that. That's why I had that discussion earlier, or probably this continuous discussion of why I'm playing Classic WoW. It's because I want to have these experiences. Dire Maul, another infamous multi-wing dungeon. Come here, son of a biscuit. Is that Dire Maul, a multi-dungeon, multi-level dungeon, I should say, that became infamous because it had these endgame quests. I remember watching a video today about Warlock's legacy and, you know, what they had growing up in vanilla. I believe that's where they had to get their Felsteed mount. Not the 41, but the epic version. The epic version, the one that they can summon around now. They most commonly see. And again, it's these. Excuse me. If I told you my Feralith experience, I just know that there's, what is it, Camp Mawachi? That it's a Tauren town in Feralith where your most of your questing was done. You had that. You had some ogres you kill, and other than that, you're just killing a bunch of trees. That's honestly my experience of Feralith back in Classic. I never knew about Dire Maul and stuff. I don't think I even came close to it. Is there a chest there? No chest. Okay. Good. We're doing well, people. And so that was my experience of these certain zones. And have I brushed it aside? Yeah, I brushed it aside. The only way I was able to dig it up is because I dropped Dire Maul. And so, dungeons, for me, I think are playing the foundations of, like, am I going to enjoy these multiplayer-esque experiences? If I'm going to love dungeons, maybe I'll enjoy a raid. The pinnacle of endgame content in World of Warcraft. And in there, it's 8 times bigger. Sure, are there, like, similar mobs? Yes. Are there actual bosses? Like, skull-level bosses? Yes, there are. And you need 40 people. That's almost an army in terms of people. That's a literal army of players. Oh, damn it. That is a literal army of players banding together to kill elemental lords or giant dragons. They're all banding together, and you get this. And I feel you would get the feeling of epicness. It would just be insane. Seeing everyone spread out and stuff, like, you know, tell X class to do this or X class to do that. Like, which I think it would feel important to bring these classes along. I think another thing I haven't mentioned yet is, I'm not sure how to word this actually. Might brush it aside. Yeah, I've got lots of train of thought here. I think the story of our druid friend here has kind of faded away. He's stuck with us. He hasn't gotten lost. He's completely enamored us. Enamored me. I think we're all just moving along, carrying on with the dungeon and stuff. I need that quest done. Oh, he disappeared from me. I'm like, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Heroic strike or something? Come here. Is there a point to this dungeon, like story-wise? Isn't there like a curse? Or something? Or maybe as a horde we're just here to just kill a bunch of night elves. I think one thing people will talk about dungeons now is that they take a lot. Dungeons back in the day, that's how I'm supposed to word it. Back in the day, it's not smart or anything. Back in the day, these dungeons would take forever because you have to get everybody together. Oh, son of a bitch. Down there. You have to get everybody together, run to the dungeon, which could be multiple zones away. Not there, not there. Where's the serpent plume that I'm missing? I'm missing one. Oh! You have to run to the zone, or run to the dungeon itself, potentially summon people there if there was a summoning stone back in the day, and then enter the dungeon on foot. I'm sure some dungeons were built within dungeons. I think. Don't quote me on that. There has to be serpent bloom around here somewhere. Nothing. But those dungeons would take forever because leveling, you didn't have, you know, items like heirlooms back in the day. You were stuck with the clown suit you were in leveling, and you could go levels, literal multiple levels without an upgrade. And so you're at the mercy of kind of your group and your friends. Oh, neither of these. Which one has the bigger? Give me that. Oh. Well, no silver bloom for me. BRB on follow. Oh, there goes our mage. He's on follow. This guy's gonna get so wrecked. Guy. I think William Cravens now kind of represents, like, you know, what dungeons were like back in the day. I think that's something I could brought up. What I mean by that is that it wasn't just a linear dungeon that we have a lot these days. It's like you have a beginning, and then you go through a dungeon killing bosses, and you get to the last boss, and you're done. Collect your loot and get out. With this dungeon, you have to go back to the beginning to activate the final boss. Like, and that's something you don't see that very often. Is this retraction period of a boss or of a dungeon? It's like, okay, we've done this checklist. We've gotten rid of the sorts of corruption, and now we must go take out the heart of it. If I said that correctly, you must take it at its source. We've destroyed its conduits. Now we must go and deal with it at its source. Ah, poor Hunter. He's being left behind. And so then you lead to this epic finale of saving this person and then getting a final boss and then getting the loot. To me, that's a good design. Should that be in every dungeon? Should there be like this retraction idea that involves the little sense of story there are in a dungeon? I think it should be put in there every so often because it adds value to what you're doing. It makes it a memorable first experience, and you feel like you're not just going into conquering a place. You're here to help these people because they can't do it themselves. Oh, there's another guy. Shoot him! Oof. There he goes. That's slime. Oh, slime! Tank, save me! We should probably talk about different roles and stuff. I think that's a topic for another time, actually, because we're getting sort of close to the end of this dungeon. This, our big boy, where is he? Is he like a giant murloc or something? Like a giant murloc? There it is. Yep, there's the murloc. Kaboosh. Ah, now he stunned me. Save me, Groot! Drake's been mind control. No! No! Why you do this to me? Oh, the healer. You shoot the spell. Oh, there I go. Oh, yeah, he's back. There we go. That's kind of how dungeons should feel like. This little side adventure in which you.
I am awake at last.
Do you have a good dream, sir? More boots. Not that great. But I think that's what a dungeon should feel like. This kind of like this adventure. This is kind of like my closing thoughts on how I should feel in a dungeon. It should feel like this adventure, whether you are going to save a town or you're going to just conquer a small fortress. You should have that satisfaction feeling of doing what you did. Whether you got loot in the end or not, that should be a motivation to come back and redo this thing. I think that's what I take from this. In all the dungeons I do, whether they're good or bad, it's completely subjective to the player themselves and their experiences. And with that, I think this is I think I'll be pausing the adventure of our little orc warrior from here on out, or from here. But until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Please feel free to like, comments, and feel free to subscribe some more if you're enjoying this. let me know what your adventures are through dungeons. I'll be doing a lot more of these in the future because I'm actually having the grandiest of times, with special that fiasco in the beginning with our little druid friend. But until then, have a nice day, everyone.